I wired them $1. That's all. One single dollar with a digital card that said, "Incorrect guest list." It was a response to a text from my mother that read, $3, 500 for Lily's kids' party. Don't be stingy.
No greeting.
No, how are you?
Just a demand.
I'm 46 years old. I work 10-hour shifts as a commercial electrician. I've replaced rusted panels in 100-degree heat and rewired strip mall breaker boxes in the snow. I can take pain, but that text? That was something else. That was rot pretending to be routine. See, I've got a daughter, Maya. She's 12. Bright kid. Quiet, kind. She never forgets anyone's birthday, even if they forgot hers. Which they did, 5 years in a row. My family. Her family. No calls. No cards. Not even a damn happy birthday text from grandma. But they sure remember when it's Lily's kids. Theme parties, matching shirts, balloon arches, catered food. And every time I help pay for it, Venmos, checks, credit cards in my name that they just expect. I used to justify it. Tell myself I was keeping the peace. That they were just busy or not great with dates. I told myself that Maya was too young to notice. But I saw her notice. I saw her face fall when she checked the mailbox and it was empty. I saw her try to smile through a store-bought cake and pretend it was okay. So when that $3,500 text came through, something in me snapped. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I just sent $1 and froze every single card tied to my name. The family ones they'd been draining for years. Locked them all. Not out of spite. Out of clarity. They reported it as fraud. The bank called. But the accounts are mine. The cards are mine. The credit's in my name. Every penny they lived on flowed through me. And I turned off the tap. For once, I didn't feel guilty. Just quiet. Back when Maya was little, things didn't seem so bad. Or maybe I was just better at lying to myself. We used to have Sunday dinners at Mom's. Lasagna, too much garlic bread, folding chairs from the garage. The whole family, Lily, her husband Nate, their 2 kids, Mom bossing everyone around with a glass of boxed wine in hand. I brought Maya every time, even when she was still in a car seat. She'd sit on my lap and gnaw on breadsticks like she belonged.
I thought she did belong.
When Maya turned 5, I threw her a backyard birthday. Balloons, cupcakes, even a magician I found on Craigslist. Everyone came. I remember Lily complaining the magician was kind of creepy, but Maya didn't care. He pulled a lollipop from behind her ear, and she thought it was real magic. That was the last year the whole family showed up. The next year, Mom said Lily had a conflict. Then it was the kids of soccer, or Nate's got work. Slowly, the excuses got thinner. One year, Lily texted, "Happy B-Day" to the kiddo the day after. Maya didn't even ask what it meant. Meanwhile, I was still showing up. Still paying for group gifts. Still footing the bill when Mom's AC broke or when Lily's car needed a new transmission. I had a family card, credit in my name, but they all had copies. At the time, I told myself it was love. Loyalty. Doing my part, as the only son. I told myself Maya didn't notice. That she was too young to track the pattern. But kids know. They always know. They just don't always say it out loud. She stopped bringing handmade cards to family dinners. Stopped asking if her cousins were coming. Stopped getting excited when I said, "We're going to Grandma's." I ignored it. I told myself I was imagining things. That maybe would change back. It never did. It was Maya's 8th birthday when I knew something was wrong. Not suspected, knew. She came into the kitchen that morning already dressed, hair brushed, wearing the same sparkly headband she wore to Lily's baby shower. Said she picked it because Grandma liked it last time. That crushed me even then. I made her pancakes with chocolate chips and stuck a candle in one. Told her she could make a wish. She closed her eyes, blew it out, and asked if we should wait to open presents until Grandma came. I told her she couldn't, something about being busy, but I saw how her face dropped. She nodded, real slow, and just said, "That's okay." She didn't cry, didn't pout. She just quietly took the box I'd wrapped and said thank you like it was a school assignment. Later that night, after she went to bed, I sat in the garage with a beer and stared at the ceiling. No one had called. Not Mom. Not Lily. Not even one of the cousins. Nothing. My phone was a black screen the entire day. I checked it 3 times just to be sure it wasn't broken. That night was the first time I allowed the thought, maybe they don't care. Not about Maya. Not really. Maybe they cared about what I paid for, about what I covered, about how easy it was to rely on me.
But Maya?
She was just an extension of me. If they could forget her birthday, they could forget mine too. And they had. The worst part was realizing I let it happen. I didn't demand they show up.
I didn't call them out.
I didn't even say her name out loud to them that day.
I just sat there, numb.
I let her think that being forgotten was normal. That's the part I'll never fully forgive myself for. A week later, I called my mom. I didn't plan it, it just sort of came out. I was in the parking lot after work, eating a gas station sandwich, when my thumb hit her contact. Maybe I wanted answers. Maybe I just wanted her to notice. I told her Maya had a good birthday, but seemed a little sad no one called. There was a pause, like she was trying to remember what I was talking about. Then she said, "Oh, right. I meant to send something. You know how things get." That line stuck to my ribs like glue. You know how things get. She went on about how Lily had been stressed with the boys' activities and how she had a doctor's appointment and how the world was just so hectic lately. Then she changed the subject, asked if I could help cover Lily's property taxes because Nate had a cash flow issue. I sat there, sandwich half-eaten, jaw clenched. She didn't ask what Maya got for her birthday. Didn't ask what she did, who came, how she felt. Just jumped straight into Lily's financial drama like Maya's birthday was a pothole she'd driven over and forgotten. I said I'd think about it.
I always said that.
And for a while, I convinced myself maybe she really was just distracted. Maybe Maya's birthday slipped through the cracks. Maybe it wasn't personal. Maybe I was the one reading into things. I told myself that until the next family photo showed up on Facebook. Lily's youngest had a birthday 2 days after Maya. There they all were, balloons, cake, party favors, matching t-shirts.
The whole family.
Every single one of them. Except us. I stared at that photo for a long time. Not because it surprised me. By then, nothing did. But because of how normal they all looked. Laughing. Holding cupcakes. Posing with the damn piñata like they'd just solved world peace. Mom had on her favorite floral scarf. Lily's husband Nate had his arm around her like they were one big, happy, generous clan. And not one of them had called Maya. Not even a text. The comments underneath were just as nauseating. Best family ever. So much love in one picture. You guys do birthdays right. I almost laughed. I showed Maya the photo later, just to see what she'd say. She barely looked at it. Just said, "That's nice," and walked off to her room.
No bitterness. No thirst.
Just resignation, the kind that makes you wonder how early kids learn to expect less. Later that week, she said something that broke me. We were driving home from the grocery store. She was quiet in the back seat, sketchbook on her lap, and out of nowhere she said, "I don't think they like me very much. But that's okay." She didn't say it with anger, just soft and factual, like she was talking about the weather. I gripped the wheel so tight I thought it might crack. I didn't answer.
Couldn't.
Because what'd he say? Of course they love you would be a lie. And she'd know. She's too smart for comfort lies now. She's been disappointed too many times. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice, "That's okay," and it hit me. She wasn't just used to being excluded. She thought she deserved it. That's when I realized it wasn't about me anymore. It wasn't about what I was willing to tolerate. It was about what she was learning to accept. And that terrified me. The text came in on a Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting in the work van, cooling off with a bottle of Gatorade and trying not to pass out from the heat. My phone buzzed. I glanced at it without thinking. $3, $500 for Lily's kids' party. Don't be stingy. No greeting. No context. No, "Hey, how are you?" Just a straight-up invoice, like I was some ATM with emotional memory loss. I read it 3 times. Not because I didn't understand, but because my brain couldn't believe the audacity. After everything. After Maya's quiet birthdays, the silence, the photo, the drive with her sketchbook in her lap, that's okay echoing in my head like a curse. After all that, they had the gall to ask me to fund another party for the kids who never even looked her way. I didn't even get angry. Not in the way you'd think. No yelling. No smashing the steering wheel. It was something colder. Something final. like a door clicking shut in my chest. I opened the bank app, sent $1 to my mother's account. In the note, I typed, "Incorrect guest list." Then I opened the account settings and froze every single family card. The ones in my name that Mom, Lily, and even Nate had been using for years: groceries, gas, clothes, sometimes even rent. All of it.
Locked. Gone. Done.
Not out of revenge. Not even really out of spite. Just clarity. They forgot Maya. For 5 years, they chose to forget her. I watched it happen and told myself stories about love and forgiveness and next time. But next time never came. It was always someone else's turn. Always someone else's celebration. I wasn't going to bankroll that kind of love anymore. It didn't take long. By Wednesday morning, my phone was lit up with missed calls. 9 from Mom. 5 from Lily. 1 from a number I didn't recognize, probably Nate using a burner because I blocked him last year for yelling at Maya over a spilled soda. At first, I let them sit. No responses. I wanted silence. I needed it. Then came the messages. My mother went from confused to furious in 3 texts flat. "Why is the car declining at CVS? Did you change the password? What the hell is going on, Derek?" Then Lily chimed in. "Mom says you're acting crazy. You know the boys are counting on this party. Seriously, grow up." No one mentioned Maya. Not one message asked why I sent $1. No, is everything okay? No, did something happen? Just panic. About money. About control. And I sat there watching it all burn down. Calm, for once. By Thursday afternoon, I got a fraud alert from the bank. Someone tried to report unauthorized access on the family credit account. I called immediately. The woman on the line sounded half exhausted already. "Mr. Thompson, we've received reports that multiple users are being denied access to cards ending in." She listed the family's leeches one by one. I told her plainly, "I'm the primary holder. All other users were authorized by me. I revoked that access yesterday. No fraud occurred." She paused. I could hear her typing. Then, "Understood. Thank you for confirming. All access will remain restricted per your request."
Click. Done.
The money faucet was off. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. I felt clean. That night, Lily went on Facebook. She posted one of those vague, sugary venom bombs. Some people would rather destroy a family than talk like adults. Sad how money reveals true colors. We'll be okay. God provides. The comments were predictable. Sympathy from people who didn't know the full story. "Stay strong, girl. You deserve better." A couple likes from people I hadn't seen since high school. But there was one comment that stopped me. "Wasn't this the brother who raised your rent money last year when Nate lost his job?" That one got deleted fast. I didn't respond. Didn't defend myself. Let them gossip, twist it however they needed to justify their own guilt. I was done explaining myself to people who only ever listened when it benefited them. What surprised me, though, were the quiet messages. 2 cousins. An old neighbor. Even one of Lily's old friends. They DM'd me, asking what really happened. One even said, "I always wondered why we never saw Maya at birthdays anymore." That one hit me like a punch to the gut. They noticed. And they said nothing. It wasn't just my family who let this slide. It was everyone around them who looked the other way.
But now?
Now they had to look straight at it. I didn't owe them anything anymore. I woke up Friday morning. Maya was already up, sitting cross-legged on the living room floor, sketching. She does that when she's trying not to think too hard. I made coffee and just stood there, watching her pencil move. She looked peaceful. But I knew better. I thought about all the times I'd told myself, it's not that bad. All the years I shrugged it off, played mediator, made excuses for everyone else. And all that time, I thought I was protecting her from conflict, from feeling left out, from disappointment. But really, I was teaching her to tolerate being invisible. I didn't say anything right away. Just sat beside her on the floor, picked up one of her colored pencils, and asked if I could help. She handed me a dull blue one and smiled a little. We sat like that for a while, coloring the same page. No words, just shared space. That was the moment it clicked, not in some big, dramatic way, but like finally seeing a pattern you've been living inside. They didn't forget her by accident. They left her out on purpose. And I let them. Because I was scared of being that guy. The one who causes drama. The one who says too much. I wanted so badly to keep the family whole that I let them carve pieces out of my daughter. It wasn't just about birthdays anymore. It was about her sense of worth. And mine. I realized I'd spent my entire adult life paying for a seat at a table that never once had room for Maya. I thought about every gift I bought, every bill I covered, every party I funded while she waited by the mailbox for a card that never came. And it hit me, no amount of money, silence, or being the bigger person would make them love her. Or me. I thought love was something you earned by being useful. That if I just gave enough, absorbed enough, forgave enough, they'd come around. But love isn't earned. At least, not that kind. The kind that forgets your child for 5 years straight? That's not love. That's convenience. And I was done being convenient. The next morning, I did something I'd never done before. I posted publicly. Just one sentence. If you forgot Maya for 5 years, don't remember my bank account now. That was it. No names. No explanations. No drama. But people knew exactly who it was about. I didn't do it for revenge. I wasn't trying to humiliate anyone. I did it because I was tired of the silence, of pretending, of playing the dutiful son while my kid sat in the shadows of a family that only called me when something broke or needed paying for. The post got more traction than I expected. A few likes turned into dozens. Then comments. Some from people I hadn't heard from in years, high school friends, old coworkers, even Maya's second-grade teacher. And then the private messages started. One from a cousin. I'm so sorry, man. I always wondered why Maya wasn't at the parties. Another from Lily's old college roommate. I remember how sweet your daughter was at that one barbecue. I had no idea they stopped inviting her. Even someone from my mom's church wrote, that post broke my heart. Praying for you and your girl. And then came the best one. An invite to a birthday sleepover from one of Maya's classmates. The girl's mom had seen the post, put 2 and 2 together and reached out. My daughter adores Maya. She's quiet but so kind. We'd love to have her. When I told Maya, she blinked like she couldn't believe it, then said softly, really? I nodded. She looked down at her hands, trying not to smile too big. Okay, she whispered. Later that night, she taped the invitation to her bedroom wall. That was the moment I knew I'd made the right choice. I wasn't trying to win a war. I wasn't out to punish anyone. I just wanted my daughter to feel visible again. They didn't take it well. Of course. Mom didn't respond directly to the post, but I heard through my aunt that she called it childish and manipulative. Said I was embarrassing the family online like some drama queen. Funny how she had nothing to say about forgetting Maya for 5 straight years. But suddenly, I was the problem for telling the truth. Lily blocked me on everything. No explanation, just gone. Nate sent me one more text, you'll regret this, which I screenshotted and filed away, just in case. But honestly, it was quiet after that. Blissfully quiet. I met with the bank. Went over every joint account, every shared credit line, every lingering tie. I closed or separated all of it. Transferred the remaining balances into a new savings account under my name only, with a separate one for Maya, in her name, locked until she's 18. The clerk asked, want to keep any of the authorized users? I said no. Not a single one. It felt surgical, like removing a tumor. Back home, I sat down with Maya and told her no more shared family accounts. No more parties we weren't invited to. No more sitting around waiting to be remembered. We're not invisible anymore, I said. She didn't say much in response. Just leaned her head on my shoulder and stayed there for a long time. Later that week, I saw her drawing again. This time it wasn't just sketches, it was a birthday party. Streamers, cake, kids smiling. One of the little stick figures even had gray hair and a flannel shirt. I looked closer and realized it was supposed to be me. I didn't cry, but I felt something move in my chest that hadn't moved in a long time. Relief. Not just that it was over, but that we'd finally stopped waiting for people who were never coming. That night, I slept all the way through for the first time in months. Maya turned 13 last month. We didn't do anything fancy, just a backyard cookout. A few friends from school, 2 neighbors, her art teacher Mrs. Goss, and a dog named Waffles who crashed the party and stole a hot dog off someone's plate. No rented ponies, no balloon arches, No $3,500 price tag. But it was hers. She picked the music. She made the cake herself. Chocolate with raspberry jam and too much powdered sugar. She laughed.
She danced.
She didn't look over her shoulder once, waiting for someone who wouldn't come. And I didn't either. After the guests left and the sun went down, we sat outside under the string lights she'd helped me hang. She leaned against my arm and said, "That was the best one." I didn't say much, just nodded and held on to that moment like it was gold. Sometimes people ask me if I miss my family. I do.
But not the people they are now.
I miss the idea of family. The version I kept alive in my head for years, thinking if I just worked harder, paid more, stayed quieter, it would come back. That we'd all be around the table again one day, and they'd see Maya, really see her, and it would all make sense. But that version never existed. What I've got now is smaller, quieter, but it's real. Maya doesn't have cousins texting her or grandparents sending gift cards. But she has friends who show up, teachers who care, a father who finally woke up and decided enough was enough. I used to think choosing family meant loyalty. Now I know it means protection. I'm not proud of how long it took me to get here, but I'm proud I got here at all. If you're reading this and wondering whether it's too late to draw a line, here's what I'll say. It's not. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is say, "That's enough." And mean it.